Everyone believes that life changes in obvious ways. They imagine turning points marked by celebrations or disasters, by applause or sirens, by moments so dramatic they are impossible to miss. People like to believe that if something truly important were about to happen, they would feel it coming, that it would announce itself, that it would be unmistakable. But the truth is far less comforting. Life changes in moments so small they almost disappear. It changes in seconds that feel ordinary. It changes when no one is watching, when no music swells, when there is no warning at all. It changes in moments when a person believes their choice doesn't matter. This is one of those moments. The narrator introduces Ethan as someone the world had learned to look through rather than at. He was not invisible in a literal sense. People saw him when they needed to. A cashier noticed him long enough to take his payment. A supervisor noticed him long enough to assign another task. A stranger noticed him just long enough to avoid bumping into him. But beyond those passing acknowledgments, Ethan left no impression behind. He did not linger in anyone's thoughts. He did not change the mood of a room when he entered it. He existed, and then he was gone. Ethan lived his life in patterns. He woke at the same time every morning, not because he was disciplined, but because his body had learned there was no point in sleeping longer. He dressed in the same neutral colors, not because he liked them, but because they drew no attention. He ate the same meals, walked the same streets, rode the same train. His days blended together so seamlessly that sometimes he struggled to remember whether something had happened yesterday or weeks ago. The narrator explains that Ethan once believed his life would be different. Like most people, he had imagined himself becoming someone memorable. Not famous, not extraordinary, just significant. He thought he would matter deeply to at least a few people. But time has a quiet way of eroding those expectations. Dreams don't always shatter. Sometimes they simply fade, thinning out until a person no longer notices when they're gone. By the time Ethan reached his mid-30s, he no longer expected anything from life except repetition. He didn't feel dramatic sadness. He felt something far more dangerous: acceptance. He accepted that his presence or absence would not change much. He accepted that the world would continue exactly the same, with or without him. And once a person accepts that idea, their choices begin to feel lighter, less important, easier to ignore. That evening began like every other. The narrator describes Ethan leaving work as the sky dimmed into a dull gray, the kind of color that made everything look unfinished. He joined the slow-moving crowd heading underground, down into the subway, where the air always smelled faintly of metal and dust. The platform was quieter than usual, fewer people, fewer conversations. The kind of quiet that made small sounds feel louder than they should have. Ethan stood near the middle of the platform, eyes unfocused, mind already drifting toward nothing. He did not notice the phone at first. He noticed the absence of people around it, the empty space, the way no one stood near the edge where the device lay. That was what caught his attention. Absence has a way of pulling focus. The narrator lingers on the moment Ethan sees the phone. It is ordinary in every way. Not new, not expensive looking, just a phone, face up, screen lit, resting dangerously close to the edge of the platform. It looks temporary, as if its owner has only stepped away for a second. Ethan assumes someone will come running back for it at any moment, but no one does. Seconds pass, then more. The phone remains where it is, glowing patiently, as if waiting. Ethan looks around, not dramatically, not nervously, just a quick glance. The platform remains empty, no footsteps approaching, no voice calling out. The phone vibrates once, then again, each movement small but noticeable. The narrator emphasizes that this is not yet a moral crisis, not in Ethan's mind. It feels trivial. People lose things all the time. Someone will find it. Someone else will do the right thing. That belief settles easily in him because it aligns with how he has always lived. Let someone else matter. Let someone else decide. Still, he hesitates. 5 seconds stretch longer than they should. In those seconds, nothing happens, and yet everything begins. Ethan imagines the simplest version of events. He leaves the phone where it is, boards his train, and never thinks about it again. The image feels comfortable, familiar, safe. Then he imagines picking it up, turning it in, speaking to someone, being involved. That image feels heavier, more complicated. It requires presence. It requires accountability. So he chooses the lighter option. He steps forward, picks up the phone, and places it into his pocket. The action is smooth, unremarkable, almost automatic. No rush of adrenaline, no sense of wrongdoing, just a quiet decision followed by movement. When the train arrives moments later, Ethan steps inside with everyone else, already convincing himself that the choice means nothing. That night, the narrator follows Ethan home. His apartment is small, neat, and impersonal. Nothing on the walls that reveals much about him. No photographs, no reminders of connection. He places his keys down, removes his jacket, and for a moment forgets about the phone entirely. Then it vibrates. Once, then again. Ethan takes it out, sets it face down on the table, and tells himself he will deal with it later. He cooks dinner. He eats in silence. The phone continues to vibrate. Messages appear. Calls go unanswered. The narrator does not reveal their content yet, only the emotional weight they carry. The vibrations become harder to ignore, not because they are loud, but because they are persistent. Ethan feels irritation first, not guilt, irritation. The device is disrupting the quiet he depends on. He considers turning it off, but something stops him. Instead, he leaves it where it is and goes to bed, telling himself that whatever this is, it can wait until morning. But it doesn't wait. The narrator describes the night as restless. Ethan sleeps poorly, waking between dreams he can't remember. Each time, the phone is there, glowing faintly, vibrating occasionally, refusing to disappear. By morning, exhaustion has dulled his thoughts. He moves through his routine automatically, barely aware of his surroundings. The television is on as background noise while he gets ready for work. He is not watching, he is not listening, he is thinking about nothing in particular, which is when the words slip past his defenses. A missing person. The narrator slows here, allowing the weight of the phrase to settle. Ethan pauses. His reflection in the mirror stares back at him, confused. He turns toward the sound without fully understanding why. The news continues. Details emerge. A person did not come home. Family members are worried. Authorities are asking for information. The last known location is mentioned casually. The subway platform. Ethan feels something tighten in his chest. His mind races, searching for coincidence, for reassurance. People go missing all the time. This doesn't mean anything. It can't. But then he looks at the phone. The narrator describes the moment Ethan finally unlocks it. The screen fills with messages that were never meant for him. Each one is a fragment of fear, each one more urgent than the last. Requests to call back, questions that grow more frantic, messages sent too late. Ethan understands now what the phone was. Not lost, not abandoned. It was dropped in a moment that mattered, in a moment when someone needed help. The realization hits not as a wave, but as a slow, suffocating pressure. Ethan sits down, the phone slipping from his fingers. He cannot pinpoint the exact second when his life split into before and after, but he knows it has happened. The narrator reflects on the cruelty of hindsight, how clear everything becomes once it is too late. Ethan replays the platform in his mind, the empty space, the glowing screen, the 5 seconds he spent deciding. He wonders how differently the night might have unfolded if he had made another choice, if he had stayed, if he had spoken, if he had acted. But wondering does not change the past. Now there is only the present, heavy with consequence. Ethan spends the day in a haze. He goes to work, answers questions, completes tasks, all while carrying the weight of the phone in his pocket like a second heart. No one notices the change in him. The world continues exactly as it always has. That, more than anything, terrifies him. The narrator explains that guilt is not always loud. Sometimes it is quiet and patient. It does not scream. It waits. It follows a person into ordinary moments and poisons them slowly. By evening, he can no longer ignore the question forming in his mind. He knows what he should do. He also knows what doing it would cost him. Returning the phone means explaining himself. It means being seen. It means becoming part of a story he cannot control. Staying silent means safety. It means returning to invisibility. It means no one ever knowing the role he played. The narrator emphasizes that this is the true choice, not the one on the platform, but the one that comes after. The choice between discomfort and silence, between responsibility and self-preservation. Ethan sits alone with the phone in his hands. He imagines walking into a police station. He imagines the questions, the looks, the judgment. He imagines the relief of putting the weight down. Then he imagines saying nothing, keeping the phone, letting time erase the evidence, letting the world move on. Both futures stretch out before him, and neither one feels clean. The narrator closes the story by returning to the idea of quiet choices, how they shape lives not through drama, but through absence, through what is done and what is not. Ethan remains seated, the phone resting in his hands, the decision still unresolved. And the narrator leaves the listener with a final thought. If you were standing where Ethan stands now, knowing what he knows, carrying what he carries, with no one watching and no guarantee of forgiveness, what would you choose?